Morning students. So today we are going to discuss Bohr's model of an atom. Okay, now there are four main postulates of Bohr's model. Okay, now see, mm, we are taking a hydrogen atom. As far as hydrogen atom is concerned, how Bohr's postulates are applied. Okay, that we are going to discuss. Now, first postulate of Bohr's model is the electron in the hydrogen atom can move around the nucleus in a circular path of fixed radius and energy. These paths are called orbits. So, orbit word, stationary state word, or allowed energy level or allowed energy state. This thing is for the path on which electron moves, okay, around the nucleus. This is what first postulate is. Okay, now second postulate is energy of an electron in the orbit does not change with time. So when an electron is present in any orbit, then it will have certain fixed amount of energy. Okay, however, the electron will move from a lower stationary state to higher stationary state when required amount of energy is absorbed by the electron. Okay, now see, we are saying that electron remains in the orbit in fixed path which is called orbit. Now if electron has to move from lower to upper stationary state or energy level, then what is required? Then it has to absorb some amount of energy. Okay, in case it has to go from higher energy level to lower energy level, then there will be loss of energy, then energy will be emitted, then energy is emitted. Okay, so this is what is the second postulate. Now see, this you can see, this you have seen in 9th standard also. This is Bohr's model of an atom. At the center, this is nucleus, which is positively charged. Okay, and these are energy levels 1, 2, 3, 4 or K, L, M, N. They are called stationary states or orbits or energy levels. Okay, now this number 1, 2, 3, 4, it is denoted by small n. And what is small n? Small n is called principal quantum number. Principal quantum number. Okay, so this is what you will be discussing in the next topics. Now in the third postulate we will be using a term angular momentum. So first of all, let us discuss what is angular momentum. Now see, normally momentum or linear momentum means the product of mass and velocity. Now what angular momentum means? It is the product of moment of inertia and angular velocity. So moment of inertia is denoted by I and angular velocity is denoted by omega. Okay, now when we put the values, then I is equal to mr square if a particular object is moving in a circular path having a radius r. So what is r? R is the radius of the path on which a particular object is moving. Now we are talking about electron, so r becomes the radius of orbit. So moment of inertia I is equal to mass of electron into r square. So it is moment of inertia. Now it is multiplied by angular velocity. Angular velocity is omega. So angular velocity is velocity over radius. Okay, now when we multiply moment of inertia and angular velocity, then it comes out to be m into v into r. So in linear momentum and angular momentum, what is the difference? mv is linear momentum and mvr is angular momentum, where r is the radius of the orbit on which a particular object is moving. Now here the object is electron. So what is third postulate? Third postulate is frequency of radiation absorbed or emitted when transition occurs. Transition means when our electron is moving from lower level to higher level or from higher level to lower level. Okay. Then what is the frequency of radiation? Now which radiation? There will be either absorption or evolution. Okay, that absorbed energy or evolved energy, that will be denoted by delta E. Okay, and this relation has come from E equal to h mu. Okay, E is equal to h nu, you know. Now what we are talking, nu is equal to E by h. So here E is change in energy, which is delta E. Delta E will be the difference in the energies of the two levels where transition occurs. Okay, so nu is equal to delta E by h. So delta E is E2 minus E1, higher energy minus lower energy. So this way we will get the frequency of radiation. Okay, now this expression is known as Bohr's frequency rule. This is called Bohr's frequency rule. Now see this diagram, you can see. Okay, now see, this is the energy of radiation which we have incident on an atom. Now electron is here, which is marked as red. When this energy is absorbed by electron, then it jumps to higher energy level. Okay, so it is called excitation, atomic excitation. Now when electron comes from higher level to lower level, okay, then again it will release energy. That energy is given by this much, and it is called atomic de-excitation. Okay, so what we can say, this diagram represents excitation of electron after absorbing energy, and this diagram represents the loss of energy when electron comes back from higher energy level to lower energy level. Okay, now fourth postulate is the angular momentum of an electron is quantized. Now quantized means that there is certain fixed value. Quantized means that whenever there is some change, then it is a particular fixed amounts. Okay, it is not in random amounts, it is to be fixed. Now angular momentum of electron is integral multiple of, n stands for integer, integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So whenever we will find electron inside the atom, then if we calculate its angular momentum, which is mvr, me stands for mass of electron, then that will be integral multiple of h bar or h by 2 pi. Okay, this can be noted as h bar also. This is called h bar. Okay, so it is integral multiple of h bar or h by 2 pi. So this is our fourth postulate. Now whatever four postulates we have discussed, on the basis of that, for hydrogen atom few more things were told by the Bohr. Now what those things were told, we will discuss one by one. First is stationary states for electron are numbered as n equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this number is known as principal quantum number. So here spelling of principal quantum number is PRINCIPAL. Okay, this is to be remembered. Now this is first postulate, that the orbit where electron is present is called stationary state and is designated as small n and has values 1, 2, 3 and so on. Second postulate. Now as we told that radius has to play its role, so radius in a particular orbit, which is noted by Rn. N means if it is first orbit, then n value will be 1 and it will be R1. If it is in second orbit, then n value will be 2 and it will be R2. So this is equal to n square multiplied by a naught. So a naught has fixed value and n value comes from the orbit. Whichever orbit we are taking, that value comes there. Okay. Now see this, if it is in first orbit, electron is in first orbit, then radius of electron in first orbit is equal to 1 square into a naught. Okay. Now a naught has fixed value, this value is this much, 52.9 picometer. So what we will say, R1 is equal to 52.9 picometer. Okay, this will be the value. Okay, similarly we can calculate the values for other orbits. So this was the second thing. Now third thing, we are saying that these energy levels are also called stationary states. Okay, now stationary state means if electron is present in a particular orbit, it will have fixed value of energy. Now how this fixed value of energy can be calculated? This can be calculated by this relation, En is equal to minus RH multiplied by 1 by n square, where n values are this. So if electron is in first orbit, then its energy is given by E1 is equal to minus RH multiplied by 1 by 1 square. Okay, so whatever is the value of RH, that will be the value of energy of electron in first energy level or first energy stationary state. Okay, now this RH is called Rydberg's constant. It has value 2.18 into 10 raised to power minus 18 joules. Okay, so this way we can calculate. Okay, now see, when the electron is, now why we are using this negative sign over here? Okay, we have written En is equal to minus, so minus sign, why minus? This is explained in next slide also, and here also some hint is there. Okay, now when the electron is free from the influence of electron, the energy is taken as 0. So what is the basic thing? When electron is away from the nucleus, means it is at infinite distance. If we will say it is at infinite distance, then in other words we can say that electron left the atom. If electron left the atom, then it has become now ionized. If I write H positive, it means electron from hydrogen atom has gone. It has left the atom and it is not under the influence of nucleus. So at that time its energy is taken as 0. Okay. Now when the electron is attracted by the nucleus and is present in the orbit n, the energy is emitted and its energy is lowered. Okay. So this is the reason that why we have kept negative sign in the electronic energy equation. Okay, so it is related with stability. Now we can discuss it in detail more here. Okay, now see, what does the negative electronic energy hydrogen atom means? Okay, now see, the energy of the electron in a hydrogen atom has a negative sign for all possible orbits. Okay, we will say just like we calculated now, E1 is equal to this is the equation which is called electronic energy equation. Okay, now there is negative sign, this negative sign. So for this we are explaining, this negative sign means that energy of electron in the atom is lower than the energy of free electron at rest. A free electron at rest is an electron that is infinitely far away from the nucleus and is assigned the energy value 0. Okay. Okay, now see, you can understand like this. This is atom, this is nucleus, and now electron is here. Okay, it has come out of the atom. Now when it has come out of the atom and there is no attractive force on this, then its energy is taken as 0. Okay, now when it starts coming towards this side, then it is under the attraction of nucleus. That time it loses energy, Now already its value of energy is 0. So when it is losing energy, then its value will become negative. Okay, so we have to put negative sign of energy when it is present in the atom itself. When electron is inside the atom, then we have to assign negative energy value. Okay, so this is the reason why we are doing this. Okay, now see two more things which were conveyed by Bohr model. This is the equation which gives the energy of hydrogen-like atoms. Hydrogen-like atoms means those atoms in which there is only one electron, Okay. Now, when there is only one electron, then this factor comes into action. Now, what is Z? Z means nuclear charge. Nuclear charge is on the basis of number of protons, because the nucleus contains what? Protons and neutrons. So there is no charge on neutron, but there is positive charge on protons. So whatever is the number of protons in an atom, that will be given by Z. So we will be putting here in place of Z the value of nuclear charge, okay, which will be positive charge. So we will get the value of energy of electron in hydrogen like atoms. Okay, now similarly this, for such atoms, radius of electron in nth energy level, that will be given by 52.9 multiplied by n square over Z. Here Z again represents the nuclear charge. Okay, nuclear charge is dependent on atomic number. Atomic number is equal to number of protons. So that's what is known as nuclear charge. Okay, now see, suppose for helium we are talking. If it is helium atom, then it is represented as helium 24. Okay, now if there are two electrons, suppose one electron goes out, then it becomes He positive. Now for this particular ion, there is only one electron. Now it has become hydrogen like ion. Okay, why? Because there is only one electron. Now for an electron in He positive atom, if we want to calculate the energy, then we have to put the values over here. Suppose electron is present in first main energy level, then n value becomes 1, and Z value, Z is equal to number of protons, so it is 2. So here it will be minus 2. E1 for He positive will be minus 2.18 into 10 raised to power minus 18 multiplied by 2 square divided by 1 square. Okay, because n value is in which orbit we are calculating. So that will give the value of E1 for electron in first orbit in He positive atom. Similarly, what is the radius value? So R1 is equal to 52.9 into 1 square over 2. So that will give the radius of electron present in first orbit in He positive ion. Okay. Now last thing which is conveyed by Bohr model about hydrogen. It is also possible to calculate the velocities of electrons moving in these orbits. Although the precise equation is not given here, qualitatively the magnitude of the velocity of electron increases with increase of positive charge on the nucleus and decreases with increase of principal quantum number. So in 11th standard, that equation is not to be memorized, but we must know that magnitude of velocity of electron increases with increase of positive charge on the nucleus and decreases with increase of principal quantum number. Means it is varying on principal quantum number as well as on the positive charge on the nucleus. Okay. So these were the different postulates. There are only 4 postulates, and other things are related to hydrogen or hydrogen like atoms. So these are also given by Bohr. So we have discussed all these. Now these are the home assignments for you. You have to do it. Okay, thank you.